welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Remi, and on my channel I film about faith, lifestyle and development. So if you're interested in any of those things, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So for this video, I wanted to share some tips for aspiring law students or lawyers. A couple weeks ago, I shared a story time of how I got accepted into law school, and that was more of a story time, and this is going to be more informational. So for that one, I think I told you to grab your popcorn. For this one, you need to grab your pen and your paper for this video. And this is for anyone thinking of going to law school, anyone that's sure that they're going to go to law school, or if the idea has crossed your mind and you're not really sure, this video is for you. So the first thing I'm going to mention is the LSAT. And the LSAT is the law school admission test. That's the test that you have to take if you're trying to get into law school. If you're trying to be a lawyer and you're trying to go to law school, you need to take the LSAT. And prepping for the LSAT takes about 3 to 6 months. I would recommend 6 months. If you're someone who you know yourself, and probably standardized tests are not your strength, I think that you should consider giving yourself enough time to be able to study for the test. So 3 to 6 months, but if you can do 6 months, please use that time to study for the LSAT. And it's about 25 hours of study per week that you have to do for those months. So about 25 to 30 hours per week. So part-time that you have to study for the LSAT. So if you're working, I think hopefully you're not working, full-time and then part-time somewhere, because if you're working full-time, you can still study for the LSAT part-time. That's what I did when I was studying for the LSAT. I had a full-time job, and then I was studying and taking classes part-time. So that's one thing you need to know of if you're trying to take the LSAT or if you're trying to go to law school. And for the LSAT, I'm just going to mention that if you can study on your own, do so, but I highly recommend that you research programs that can help you study. There's a couple companies that I know that they're very popular with standardized tests, and the LSAT is one of the tests that they teach. So even though you can study on your own and you can read on your own, obviously I think it's helpful to get a program that can help you in your studies. So research, prep programs, pick what works out for you. If your budget can go with a certain program and the program is good per reviews, after you've done your research, you can pick the program to kind of help you and guide you through the study for the LSAT. And I think the skilled score for the LSAT is 120 to 180. So I think 120 is the lowest and 180 is the highest, and the average is about 150. If you want to get into a really good law school, 150 is a good average to have. By all means, if you can have 160 or 180, go for it. You know what I mean? But I think just knowing that number in your head, that okay, this is the number I have to meet and this is how long I need to study for, I can prep for this. So the LSAT is the first thing that you need to know. The second thing I wrote down is a solid letter of recommendation. So you need letters of recommendation if you want to get into law school, and you need people to pretty much vouch for you. You need people to speak on your behalf and pretty much tell on the law school that they should admit you into their school and they are going to make a great lawyer. So one way of doing this is form professional relationships with your professors. So for those in college and you're thinking of going to law school after college, get to know your professors well, form professional relationships with them, participate in class, go to their office hours, make yourself known to them so that when it's time for you to ask for a letter of recommendation, it doesn't seem awkward because you've built that relationship with them over time and they can speak on behalf of you with regards to your work and your performance academically. So I think for me, I remember at my college then, I formed good professional relationships with my professors. I'd go to their office hours, I'll participate in class, I'll ask questions. So they knew me well. And I remember one of them wrote an amazing letter of recommendation for me, because I think my school required 2, I believe. So I used, or 3, I can't remember right now, but the schools vary on what they ask for. So a school might ask you to give, to produce 2 letters of recommendation, while another school can ask you to produce 3 letters of recommendation. So it depends on what school. I can't remember how many letters of recommendation my school asked for, but one was someone I was working for, where I did a legal internship, and then the other was a professor. So the professor wrote the most amazing letter of recommendation for me. I read it, I'm like, I'm getting to the school, man. So, form professional relationship with professors and your employers. So for those who are not in school anymore, if you're still in contact with your professor that knew you, relatively soon enough, like, not a professor that knew you like 10 years ago and they can't remember anything about you, but if you graduated like 2 years ago, a year ago, and you still know a professor that can speak on your behalf, please reach out to them. But if you're working and you have an employer that can speak on your behalf, reach out to them. If you interned somewhere, reach out to them to write a letter of recommendation for you. The third thing I'm going to mention is your resume. Brush up your resume. Have multiple people look at your resume. I remember, my last video, I was talking about how, although my score wasn't the score that I wanted it to be, I made sure that everything else was perfect. My resume was perfect. My personal statement was perfect. So, with resumes, brush it up. Have multiple people look at it. You need professionals. You need your career advisors to look at your resume and critique it and give you feedback on what you can change to make it better. Also, Google is your best friend. Go on Google how to write a resume for law school, what they're looking for, things that you can put on there on your resume. And like I said, so I've already mentioned this, consult with professional development staff at your school to review your resume and to provide feedback for you. And also get real life experience. Don't just take classes and go home. Get involved, volunteer, meet people, network. Just apply yourself. Law schools like to see that you're involved in your community, right? You're not just a robot going to school, coming back, going to work, coming back. You want to be involved in your community. Where are you volunteering at? Who knows you? What do you do besides your day-to-day task? So get really busy and get real life experience. You can put those things on your resume. And it just shows that you can balance school or work with many other things in life. So it shows that you know how to manage your time and you're very involved with what's going on around you. Another tip is, I think I mentioned everything actually on the resume. So be active and be involved in your community. I know getting all A's is the goal of every student, but in addition to getting all A's, try to get other things done as well so you can put on your resume. And then number 4, a strong personal statement. Like I was talking about 2 seconds ago, I had a strong personal statement. This cannot be overemphasized. Tell a story. Why do you want to go to law school? It seems like a basic question, but answering that question and telling your story can be the deal breaker, whether you're going to get into law school or you're not going to get into law school, whether you're going to get into your dream school or if you're not going to get into your dream school. Your personal statement is very important. So also, Google is your best friend because you can Google ways in which you can write your personal statement for law school. Obviously, the story is going to be unique because it's going to be your story, but it gives you an idea of what law schools are looking for in a personal statement, and you can just think deeply and come up with a compelling story. So obviously the generic reasons why you want to go to law school, you can put that there as well, but when it comes to building your story and making it your own and personalizing the story, it's called a personal statement for a reason. You need to come up and develop a compelling story. Think about why you wanted to go to law school, what inspired you, who inspired you, how the thought of going to law school came to your mind and why it came to your mind, what you're going to do with your law degree, why should they give you a chance to come into their school to study law? Write a compelling personal statement. My personal statement was amazing. Like, if I had a law school and I read my personal statement, I'll get into my own law school. So write a compelling personal story and have people, read it for you. Not to give you, things to write about, but to, kind of proofread it for you. You need people to proofread your personal statement, because when you've been working on a statement for, let's say, a couple weeks, you might miss something if you've been reading the same personal statement over and over again. So have another set of eyes take a look at your personal statement. Number 5, research schools and programs to allow a better chance of getting into your dream school. So research schools. Why do you want to go to that school? What about that school draws you? What do you like about the school? Research programs and, research schools that can work for you, financially can work for you. And also when you get out of law school, you want to be able to get a good job and, be, in a good spot when you're competing with other law school candidates. So, put all those things into factor. Also, I would recommend that you check out and apply to accredited law schools. Because I know that, there are some schools that are not accredited and they're cheaper a lot of times, actually all the time. The schools that are not accredited are cheaper. But you probably want to get into an accredited law school, because when you graduate and you're looking for a job, I've seen many times, the job will literally say, a law school candidate who graduated from an accredited law school. You don't want that to be a barrier. There's already enough challenges. You don't want that to be a barrier. So go to a school that is already accredited. I know for my school, obviously it was accredited. It's been accredited for forever. And the connection in the Boston area with my school was so strong. Like, you will walk into a courtroom and like 90% of the lawyers there are from Suffolk, my law school, or you work into, a company or a law office, and majority are lawyers from my school. So the connection, the network for my school was really strong. It's still really strong in the Boston area. That's one of the things that drew me to the school. Plus, my school had like top 10 nationwide clinical programs, and I was interested in doing clinics. Another thing that drew me to my school. So, look for and research schools that work for you and the programs that you would like to participate in. Number 6, don't force yourself into a particular field in the beginning. First things first. I know that a lot of times if you're thinking about going into law school, you already have an idea of what kind of lawyer you want to be. Some people are very sure of what they want to do, but sometimes most people they have an idea of what they want to do, but they don't even know for sure yet, but they're trying to get into law school, and it's okay. Don't try to box yourself to say, oh, what kind of lawyer do I want to be? I need to know this now. No, it's all right to get into law school, and as soon as you start to take classes and you start to really learn some new things, you might be surprised. You might be interested in a field of law that you didn't think you were going to be interested in. And sometimes you'll be surprised. You can walk into law school saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And by the time you graduate, you've changed your mind because you got interested in something else. So in the beginning, that should not be something that you should spend too much time thinking about in the beginning. Number 7, avoid distractions, because best believe they will come. Focus on your focus. Law school and trying to get into law school is not a walk in the park, guys. It's really not a walk in the park, but obviously it's very doable. And one of the ways of achieving that goal is to avoid distractions. If you are around friends who want to party all the time and they're not encouraging you to study, you're not going to study and you're not going to do well on test. So, avoid distractions, focus on your focus. You're trying to take this test, you're trying to get into law school, you're trying to write your personal statements, you're trying to research the schools you want to go to. All of these things take time, and they take time for you to produce quality work, quality outcome. So avoid distractions by all means. Number 8, do the work. So the interesting thing about law school is everyone is smart, okay? Everyone is smart, everyone is driven, everyone is ambitious. You're among, I don't want to say compete, because I'm hesitant to use that word. But you're, among all these other applicants who are also equally very qualified. So do your own part, do the work. Come prepared, stay confident in who you are, stay confident in God, stay confident in what you know, and the hard work that you've put in, and you'll be fine. And then number 9, it's kind of tied to number 7, but number 9 says surround yourself with positive people with can-do attitudes, right? You need positive people around you. You will need this. You'll come back and tell me that, oh wow, you were right. No, seriously, you need this, because if you're studying for the test and you're taking practice tests and the practice tests are not going as well as you'd like them to go, you need people to encourage you, during that phase, because it gets you thinking like, wow, am I going to do this good on the test? So it's just knowing that you need positive people, positive energy around you. And number 10, hard work. Law school, is a lot of hard work. I mean, it's 7 full years of education after high school, because you have 4 years of college and then you have 3 years of law school. So you're in for a ride. I don't want to scare anyone or make it look like it's impossible. It's very possible. But just know that you're in for a ride, and that ride is called hard work. You're going to need to put in the work. You cannot shortcut it. You cannot, try to cut corners. You need to apply yourself, and you need to put in the hard work that it requires. And I think, I said something interesting, that it says the motto, if you want to get into law school, you have to have like a motto in your head. And the motto is read, write, research, and reference. Read, write, research, and reference. You're going to be doing a lot of reading. Law school is a lot of reading, just FYI. I mean, some of you might already know this, but yeah, it's a lot of reading. You're going to be reading a lot. So it's a lot of reading, it's a lot of research, it's a lot of writing, it's a lot of referencing, so just getting yourself in the habit of doing all of those things before you get into law school, before you even take the test, can give you a huge advantage. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to share with you all on tips for aspiring law students. So if you're thinking about going to law school, think about these things that I've mentioned, and start, putting the work and doing your research and seeing how you can go about it and when you can take the test and what makes sense in terms of time frame for you to take the test and how you can move forward with this process. And I hope that this video has inspired or encouraged somebody to take that step of faith, take that leap of faith, and pursue their dreams or pursue the goal that they have of becoming a lawyer and going to law school. But that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.